You know, I think we ought to rename this project now to something like Circus Massage. I thought it was funny. Folks, the day we thought never would come has arrived. Circus Bike is ready for a road test, which I'm going to do here momentarily. Haven't done it yet. And just wanted to go over it real quick. And I'm going to interject some of the original video from, I think, video 1 as to what it looked like. And we'll try to do a comparison to now. Now, of course, you can see that gaping hole right here, which for certain female passengers actually might be rather interesting ride. We are waiting for a passenger seat, pillion, whatever you want to call it. You know, unfortunately, I don't have one even on order, but the customer thinks it may still be up in Jersey. And we are also waiting on the cover for fuse block, which I don't know what the hell Honda was thinking putting it there. But this is a first year. 85 and 86 were the same, and then they changed it up. They probably figured out what the hell they did wrong. So that is coming. I did buy that, and it came with a fuse block assembly, you know, the whole thing. And there was no cover in it. And so I emailed the seller and said, hey, where's my cover? And he said, oops, sorry, I forgot to package it. I'll send it right out. So I'm waiting on that. So the only thing I'm not 100% sure about sourcing, of course, is the seat. But there's a couple on Fleabay, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Otherwise, it's ready to go. Now, of course, I think it has the original tires on it, and I'm not even going to bother with trying to date code these because I think this may predate the DOT 4-digit, you know, the week and the year code. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But let me explain why I think that. Inside the mass of several spiral-bound notebooks I got with this bike, and most of it didn't even apply, was this page out of a Cycle World magazine, probably from 85, because it's preview 85 of the Honda line. And any older guys will remember that from the magazines, which I sorely and desperately miss. But that being as it the case may be, this is what I went off of. Of course, I only have one side shot here. There is no other shot, just, you know, I don't know what that is. When you take a look at that, the qualifier, Dunlops, this thing only had, and that's what it has on it, 10.4. So we believe it's original mileage. And so this thing probably has, if not the original set, then the owner brought him into the dealer and got the original set put on shortly thereafter while they were still available. Qualifier, Dunlop qualifier, Dunlop qualifier. So could be the original tires. Maybe I'll date code them later. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, let's go do that we'll do a walk around, and I won't say anything. We'll just go ahead and interject some of the video from when I first got it, and then we'll do a quick summary, and then we'll see how she goes. Alright, so you can see the difference. Yeah, I'm liking it. I don't know about anybody else, but I sure am. Remember, my objective and my task from the customer was to get this back into basically a stock Shadow form. So that's what we're doing. And then we're going to hook this up. This California sidecar. I'm not sure which model California sidecar. Whoops. And I'm not even sure it's going to fit 100%. There's a couple of things that I'm concerned about. Let me show you the concern first. On a sidecar, you have essentially 4 mounts. You'll have a rear lower, which is, I believe, right there. You'll have a front lower, which is right there. A front upper, which is right here. and a rear upper, which is nowhere. So I don't know if they didn't get that far, because I'll have to review the initial footage that I'm actually putting in this video from the walk around. I don't remember any heavy duty attachment point on that Circus Bike box that would have been suitable for the rear upper mount of the sidecar. I'm not even sure if it was ever hooked up, besides maybe for some mock-up. I don't know. So we're probably going to have to fabricate something at that time for a rear upper mount. And what I'll probably end up doing is something like I did on the Magna, on the main boss that goes into the frame for the rear shock. That's what I'm guessing right now. I don't know. Yeah, so that's going to be the next task. Once I get this thing road tested here, which will be shortly, and make sure that there's no significant problems with it, I do have to do another oil change and a filter change, because at the very beginning all I did was start it up to verify after I scoped the cylinders and went, holy shit. I went ahead and just drained the oil out that was in and put some oil in that I had. I didn't have a filter at that time, so what I'm going to do right after this, when it's warm, I'm going to change the oil and filter again. But I'm just going to take it out for a quick run and make sure everything works. The lights all work. I verified that. The signals work. I do not like these. They're a little wobbly. They are definitely not stiff. Stiff is always good. These are not stiff. And I was really disappointed, because the packaging showed they originated from 4into1.com, and usually they have good stuff. And these suck. So we may have to replace those with OEM, but the OEM ones are actually pretty pricey. I mean, you're talking about 80 bucks between the two of these just to change these standoffs out, so we may not even do that. I don't know. I think they're going to bounce around like, I think they're going to bounce around like a bobblehead with a spring ready to crack, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I forgot to put this on here. Look at that. That's pretty sloppy. Never know. Brake boot cops might be out there. Speaking of cops, don't have a tag. Don't tell anybody. Just going to go up and down the road a couple times, come back. We didn't even have a tag mount. I just put this on today. This, let's see. Those three things came from eBay, because we didn't have them, couldn't find them. As you know, the seat from the other video, at least the seat pan, came from eBay that I switched over and stapled it in. This is the original seat pad, of course, with a seat pan. You see how that goes? Bolts in right there. And so the side covers are not shown in the, I don't think this, maybe this one is, and I don't remember if both of them were gone or not, in the original video, but I found these. These were in the box, luckily, so I didn't have to source, so I thought I was going to have to. But, and you saw from a lot of the videos what I ended up doing. I mean, this fuel system was an absolute joke, the way it was set up, because the original, previous owner, gentleman, wanted to put in that auxiliary fuel tank, which is actually underneath there. I'm going to keep that and use it for something, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so pretty interesting. But these are the original signals. I fixed the standoffs on these because they were getting ready to detonate, and they work fine. Everything works fine. I took off the stupid chrome slotted cover dealios. Speaking of covers, I really wanted to lose this thing, which is a cover, of course, for the radiator. However, there is some sort of a surround that either I'm sure it screws on or clamps on or snaps on from OEM. It's a black surround that protects the edges of the radiator, and that's missing. And so rather than try to source that, we'll just go ahead and leave this because it definitely does protect the radiator pretty well. And so it was really corroded, so I just went over it with a whiz wheel and a Scotch-Brite pad and kind of made it a little bit more like, brushed aluminum type thing. Other than that, it's kind of a shame that this thing is so pitted up. What I'm going to do is, once I get it, where I know the mechanical shit is good, and I'm getting ready to do the sidecar thing, I will go over some of this stuff outside there with a Brillo, or not a Brillo, like 00 steel wool and some soap. And we'll get a lot of this cleaned up. It'll look a lot better. That's the only thing you can do on this stuff. The forks had these metal sleeves on them. I don't know if you can see them in the original shots of the video. This is strangely satisfying. These guys here, these are stiffer than Peter North on a good night. And let me tell you what, there ain't no way to bend these to stretch them out to get them off. So I had to pull the forks. That's when I pulled the stupid covers off. I hate those things. And because I imagine it comes in a kit, they had to change the spacer out to make, because of course those covers consume real estate on the linear plane as far as the length of the axle goes relative to the forks. And so I machined a new one, but I wasn't sure of the length, so I went a little small, and then I just put a washer in, and it worked out well, because otherwise I couldn't get the brake calipers to mount up. The wheel was either one way, this way too far, or that way. And there's only a certain amount of range those things have. So I got those working good too. And again, we'll try to clean these up with some steel wool. But yeah, and of course, I don't remember if I filmed it or not, but I got all the brakes rebuilt and everything with from Brake Crafters, the clutch, the whole bit. So yeah. All right, let's get her down. Going up. Ooh, not bad. Before I do this, what I have to do is wash off the engine area around the radiator, because yesterday I drained and refilled the coolant, and naturally I made a mess because the radiator cap is behind this cover. So I'm just going to hit it with some car soap. Let's make sure that's car wash and not acid or something. Yep. And then rinse it off with some water, and then we'll blow it off with the blow nozzle, and then we'll start her up. About 195 on the bottom of the jug, 163.5 up there. This one's 130 in the back, 129. Let's go down low. That cylinder base right there at the crankcase is only 171 right now. So. Nope. No fan yet. Getting up there pretty high, guys, so we're gonna have to shut it off here. We ought to check the fuses, because with this thing disconnected like that, I checked it directly. I wonder if there's a blown fuse. The way it was hooked up, the damn thing could have easily snapped a fuse at some point, and who knows. Aha! I do have a blown fuse there. I wonder what it's for. Maybe it's the fan. What do you think? There it goes. Yep. Alright, well that was that. And I didn't let it get that hot. It wasn't in the red or anything. It was about where I shut it off, probably about where it normally kicks on, because you saw when I put the fuse in, it fired up. So I should have thought about that before, but I didn't. But no harm, no foul. There is another problem though. This fuel pump is failed. Shouldn't be doing that. builds pressure and stops. So there's a problem, and it should not run like that. It has nothing to do with the relay workaround that I did. It's just because it was working fine before, it's not now. So there was an old fuel pump in the mix which I tossed away. I tested it first, it didn't work. So this fuel pump is just bad, being it's ancient and had all that crud in it. I have an aftermarket that'll fit this. So I'll have to let it cool down another time, another day, and we'll get the fuel pump changed out in it to that aftermarket. Best we can do. Best I can do with it, because the OEM's not available, obviously. So I had to put an aftermarket fuel pump in, and hopefully that'll solve that. But yeah, it is. I guess that is what it is. Yeah. See, watch. Hey. Bad fuel pump. You know, it's getting hotter than a $2 pistol. We can't leave it that way. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. That's a wrap. I am absolutely not displeased at all as to how she runs. Considering what the combustion chamber looked like on that rear jug when we first started this project, I think she runs great. You know, testament to Honda quality. Sitting 25 years, half rusted on the inside out, and it still works. So not bad at all. Rookie mistake on the fuses. I take full responsibility for being a dumbass on that one. I should have checked all the fuses. I don't know why I didn't. I did not let it get that hot though, because I'm watching this temperature gauge, which at that point I don't even know if it's accurate, but the laser thermometer is telling me for sure that it's not overheating yet. And as you saw, I don't know if you heard it or not, as soon as I put the fuse in, it fired right up. It apparently was right at the trigger point, because when I turned it off and said, "Oh, what's going on with the fuel pump?" and I did that off camera, it couldn't have been more than 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes. I turned the ignition back on, and the fan wasn't running. I had to run it a little while longer and get it to cycle, and it did cycle on and off. So no harm, no foul, but definitely a rookie mistake. Yeah, I don't mind putting dumbass things that I do on video. I do dumbass things so you don't have to. All right, so what are we going to do now? We're going to fix that fuel pump issue. I have an aftermarket, I think I said, on the shelf. Actually, it's right down there now, down the lift. And we're going to put that in and hopefully clear this up. How long that lasts, who knows? I wish there was an OEM available, but forget about it. So okay, if you like what you saw in the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video, it helps analytics. Ring the bell on the channel, you get notified when I put up other videos. I do not know if I'm going to be shooting a lot of the sidecar attachment to this, which is either going to be really soon to start it or later on, because I got that Valkyrie coming in out of Alabama on the 15th. And I don't want to tie up any significant real estate on this when I got that coming in. That's a higher priority. So who knows? But if you do all those things, you'll get notified when I put whatever up. So until next time, as I say, always, don't just repair, restore. Catch you on the next video.